Right. So, as you leave your meeting, Astrea, with Captain Hazel, the day is pretty much yours. Now, Hazel has already decided that she'll meet with Pax and that mystery crew member in about an hour. But Astrea, Farron, Gizmo. Actually, no, let's go to Farron and Gizmo because you've been sort of put to the side for now. What are you up to? I believe Nader had plans, which scare
Yeah,
me.
what are we up to?
Yes.
So, given we had our long rest, and given everything I can do as an artificer works on literally after I had my long rest,
Yeah.
I'm gonna walk up to Farron and say, Farron, can you help me with one very important job, please?
Uh, yeah,
Please.
sure.
I need you to keep your hands and arms like this and not
Right.
move 1 centimeter.
You know you're not exactly reassuring me right now, right?
It's gonna be fine, trust me.
Yeah. The last person you asked that, did they have all their limbs at the end, or should I be concerned?
If you stay still, nothing will happen.
Sometimes I wonder why I even ask. And
And so
then,
as you do that, I put down my glasses, and in this specific order, I drop on your arms a block and tackle, a bag of ball bearings, and a crowbar that were nowhere to be seen until a few seconds before.
Oh right, that's the whole tinker thing. That's the new artificer tinker. But
So basically, it's like
do you have to is that once a day now, or do you just do it when you need to?
they last until I finish a long rest. All the items I create.
Okay.
Yep.
huh?
And so it's like a clonk, clonk, sklonk.
I think that just Farron stumbles slightly, just adjusting to the weight of items that have fallen into his lap ex nihilo, and is like,
How?
huh?
No, wait, don't move. I still have, wait, hold on. I take two bits of rope from the ground or
Gizmo?
from something I found around. Yes?
Actually, Nader, just to be sure, it's a magic action, which means that you don't necessarily need to prepare them in advance. You can just do them when you wish to use them.
Yeah, I can do it
Yeah.
do them on the
But
spot.
it
Yeah,
is very, very cool. They're going, okay, bait and tackle, rope, crowbar. You're
exactly.
going, what are we fishing for?
And then the other thing I drop is a rope of mending that in this case I create with one of my magic item
Oh,
recipes.
okay. So what are
Yep.
the magical items that you produce?
So
Sorry?
those are not magical, they're just
No,
the
no.
actual
So
item.
okay. So you got rope of
So
mending.
we've got a block and tackle,
Yeah.
a a bag of ball bearings, and a crowbar,
Okay.
plus the rope of mending.
Okay.
Thank
And
you,
I'm just
Farron.
imagining. Thank you, and you're welcome. Can I move my arms now?
I look at you dead in the eyes for like 10 seconds, and then 15 seconds, and then 20 seconds, and then 25. Just to see how long it takes you to realize.
I think you have Baron just going through the 5 stages of grief in front of you, kind of like in terms of his facial expression. And at some point, kind of like just dropping his arms and letting kind of like the stuff clatter onto the floor.
That will be very noisy.
And that's when Astrea steps in and says, Mr. Gizmo. Works are starting on the ship. You might want to join the people working there.
Sir, yes, sir. Where do I have to go?
Now would be a good time. Stop pestering your co-officer. I'm gonna need him.
I just salute very quickly Astrea and I run off to the ship.
Tick, 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 tick.
I obviously I leave all the items on the ground.
No
And we
littering.
don't littering.
I
Right.
but- Okay. Well, I think Farron, yeah, you do notice that, yeah, the. I would think that most of the items notice are completely common, but that rope of mending is something different, right? There is something. There's a. It. I think I would imagine that it feels like nylon in a world that has only ever used hemp. You're muted.
Real cobalt rope.
Cobalt rope, yes.
Okay. I think there's just that moment where Farron accepts kind of like that of all the experiments that Gizmo could have enlisted him in, this was probably one of the more harmless ones, and so he's just grateful to be able to fight another day. Yeah, so having observed that, though, kind of like, did the objects just appear from somewhere? Kind of like, was there sort of like, vortex opening above, or did it just kind of like 1 second they're not there, and then the next second they're physically there, so to speak?
I would imagine that actually Gizmo's magic is more like these kind of yellow bluish sparks, like his scales. So it kind of looks like when you evoke your sword, but it's more like just a bunch of sparks. You know the stars that you light up for like New Year's Eve. Imagine that, but on a slightly bigger scale. And when he does this gesture with his hands, he can mold the sparks into the shape of the object.
Huh. Interesting. And having added that to the list of things that are happening in his life, apparently, he is going to turn towards Astrea, because apparently the captain has use for him. Which so this is going to be an interesting day.
And as Astrea looks at Farron, and probably at Pebblebrook, who has appeared beside her, she says, "Well, let's get to actually earn our keep here and avoid the crew getting restless. Pebblebrook, if you can identify anyone in the crew who has previous experience of any form of gardening, working the fields of any kind. I know it's not usual common background for pirates or seafarers, but you never know. You might be surprised. And
Well, I believe that with Karen and George, at least, they'll be able to carry loads if we need, moving things here and through. So that's they're quite handy in that. But I can ask it around.
so that is one. And Farron, if I could ask you to report to what was the Tilbert? Was it
Tiberius.
Tilbert? Tiberius, who was manning the kitchens and cooking fires? No?
Certainly.
On the
Yes,
cooking
Tiberius.
fires?
Yeah, Tiberius was the
okay.
one now.
And see with him if the people with food handling experience could help him and maybe free up some of the people they need for any other tasks.
All right, I can certainly do that. Anything in particular he was looking for? Is this a supply thing, or is this a making food thing?
Well, it's anything that can help with work on the island.
Fair enough. I'll get right to it. Let you know how it goes later. And ignoring war flashbacks to frying pans, he's going to just go and meet up with Tiberius, I suppose. Who is in which area of the island right now?
They would be in the center. He has his own
Mhm.
sort of things around. Right. So what I am going to propose is let's have a look at how your crew does. You're not there's not many of you, but what I'll do is this: giving you each advantage. You will either roll me an athletics or nature check. So using your stats, I'm giving you advantage because this represents, the communal effort, and we'll see how much work you actually get done. Now, could you please remind me? I think how much gold was in that treasury that you had found? Do you guys remember?
What had we noted about the gold?
Did you write anything down?
I did. I just need to find it.
Because now that
500 gold pieces.
Yes. Weren't those what was to be distributed between us once the whole loot was done? I think.
Let me go have a look because I believe that that was 500 and the pearl, and I believe that I had changed things so that the
Around.
pearl was no longer in monetary value but a quest item or something along those lines.
So in my mind, it was our share was the 500 gold, and the rest was the crew's share. And but I might be wrong.
Okay, get in the comments. You know. Get in the comments. You've seen what I've done. I need to go and have a look. But anyways, please note that you have a party inventory, and so you are free to go and put all your notes there for anything regarding the ship management. So, for example, the grub, which is a resource that's going to be used by the ship, and you are going to start accumulating that kind of stuff now. So, what I will have you do is, all of you, could you please, let's get this roll. So, either survival or, no, sorry, either athletics or nature. And you have
Nature.
advantage.
I think Farron's going to go with nature on this one.
Is it for everyone or?
Yes, for everyone. Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that's nice.
I think that's a natural 20 for Farron.
Nice. Okay.
For 22 total.
19
Indeed, it
for
is very
Astrea.
nice. 11 for Pax.
Okay, so we have.
And
Right. So for PAX, again, this is with regards to whatever person is working instead of unless you tell me it's PAX that did this, right? So on an 11, the character is ill-equipped for tending to the garden, though the Asphodel appreciate their efforts, but at least you didn't create a mess. What do we have? We have a 13. A decent job of tending to the gardens. They receive 1 grub worth of fruits and vegetables. With a 19, that's 2 grub. And with a 22, that is actually 3. So you're a total of 6 grub. I'll update your character sheets for that. Now, what does that mean? Is that basically whenever when you guys will start traveling, grub is a value of food for the entire crew. So basically, and with regards to one stretch of sailing. So, for example, from the reef to here, it would have taken 2 stretches. The idea is it's one stretch to get to the air current, and because the air current is a direct route to the island, to the Drake Islands, that is a second. But we'll get to that when we start doing the navigation. So technically, already with 6 now, in just about a day, it's not a bad haul with regards to that. Astrea. Actually, who would be in charge of it? No, let's go for Gizmo. Gizmo, could you please roll me a d4 plus 2?
Indeed, I can. D4 plus 2.
Yes.
Uh,
You want to roll low.
I went for the manual.
Well, you roll, okay. Right.
Nice. Wait, is it good? I don't know.
We'll see. That means okay. Gizmo, Farron, Farron, Astrea, are we good with you? And I'm going to move to Gizmo and Pax for the show. Okay. So Gizmo, we actually follow you, sort of tapping, sort of running behind, and as you come up onto the ship, we see you sort of catching up. Hazel and Almond sort of coming up to the edge of the ship. Pax, I should have actually started with you. We're going to flash back a little bit backwards. How would you have prepared Emile for the meeting?
Very much just straightforward. Pax isn't treating Emile in any different way than the crew, other than visibly understanding the ferocious nature, even if Pax doesn't necessarily lose himself that easily.
You want to make me an intimidation check?
Yeah, absolutely. I was actually about to round to that I do imagine their traditional form of greeting is hissing at each other.
Okay, I like it.
That's a 25. No, that's not with advantage. That's a 14.
I mean, you have something that will allow you to give advantage, I think. Don't you? It
Do
doesn't. Isn't it?
It doesn't give me advantage.
No.
No, that is if I target a person and try to make him frightened, I can force disadvantage upon them.
Right. Okay. Is that a any time, or is that a number of per day uses? Is that a
I'm just
finite
trying
use?
to look where it is exactly. But I think it's a couple of... Oh, it doesn't even do disadvantage. No, I can just scare people.
Okay.
And force them to roll a charisma saving throw, but that's X amount of times per long rest.
Okay. Okay.
Pax has no intention of dominating Emile. He's more just speaking the same language.
Well, I think with the 14, 14 is definitely... I wouldn't say it's not enough to get his full compliance, but definitely it's... yeah, you're still gonna watch him. You're gonna still have to watch him. He's okay, but he's still on the brink, right? This is... The intimidation check that I'm having is sort of to see if he's in a good day or in a bad day. It's the middle of the pack, right? Where any kind of frustration, any kind of hostility might send him off.
Mm-hmm.
If you had done sort of 50 to 20 is he's fine. 20 above, at that point he's going, okay, yes, he's fully under 10.
Yeah.
At that point, yes, he is feral, right? Don't expect
Absolutely.
anything from him.
Absolutely.
And we can just roll that like that. Yeah, so I think that. So where are you waiting for the two visitors? Are you waiting on the deck of the ship? Are you in the innards of the ship on the docks? Where are you expecting them?
Pax is tasked to welcome a captain from a different vessel, well, a captain and their first mate from a different vessel. So Pax is going to do as is appropriate. The gangplank is set up, and he's standing at the top, ready to receive them on deck. And Emil would have been asked to join him up on deck.
Mm-hmm. And so, yes, as the have you asked for anybody else to be present?
Yes. He would have asked for Still to be present. And I think he would have asked Jork, actually, to have a set of eyes from not the Triumph.
Makes sense.
To witness as well.
Good choice. So yes, there's sort of an honor guard, as Still is very much sort of in. She's fidgeting, right? As in, okay, I'm not really. I'm usually the one not seen front and center. But yes, as the captain and their first mate sort of move aboard with the Gizmo. Gizmo, you can see in the distance. You can see that sort of little honor guard being set up. Do you plan on arriving after the guests, or do you want to try and scramble up before they arrive? Maybe climbing the side of the boat to try and get onto the ship before they do.
Is my rival going to be present? My arch nemesis that we met last time?
No.
Oh, in that case, I take it super easy.
Which is, your arch rival, by the way, is the navigator that Almond requested you not try and poach.
Yeah, I didn't hear that part of the conversation.
No, as those are the conversation with Astrea about, don't poach my navigator. I just realized your arch rival is the navigator that pre-mentioned.
In that way. Okay, I see what you mean. Okay.
Yeah,
but
Oscar,
no,
the Osprey.
Yeah, if Oscar is not in the
No,
picture,
he is
then
not.
I'll take it super easy.
No.
Fine.
Whenever you start giggling, I need to sort of have a look at the. No, there's nothing in the meme channel.
No, I'm really just giggling about the scene.
So yes, I think that Pax, as you welcome the two guests aboard, you can see Gizmo plodding along down the docks on the plank. Actually, I think Hazel is the first one to step on board, right? And again, the clip clop of her hooves on the plank, and very much she crosses the plank, steps onto the deck. Her hand is at her rapier, and very much surveying the crew, trying to assess if there is any danger, if this is an ambush of any kind, right? Mm-hmm. To which point she turns, she does sort of I think she removes her hat. Enough so that but in a gesture that is visible enough that you would understand this is not only a signal for Almond, but probably from people further down the shore. There's probably somebody with a spyglass looking at it and, making sure that their captain is safe. And Almond steps onto board. Thank you for having me. So, Let's have a look, shall we?
I would start maybe with getting the official business out of the way. Our shipwright, Emil Markov, and Pax takes a step out of the way, then giving full sight to Emil.
Emil stands sort of at attention, nervous, protocol dictating. He was a ship captain, and it's nurture taking over nature, but he is still very visibly a corrupt merfolk. And I think Hazel is very much has a look towards you and then to them. I think Almond sort of, well, I understand. I think I understand what you were talking about, Axel, yesterday. I apologize if this might come as insensitive. Can you communicate?
Yes.
Emil sort of nods. Yes, we may speak. It is difficult for me sometimes, but today is a good day. Well, good to hear it. And quite remarkable force of will you demonstrate. I've seen too many people I've known fall to the same curse as you and lose their wits. It is quite commendable. Thank you.
Everyone from our crew, Captain, with due respect, survived extraordinary circumstances.
I do not doubt it in any shape or form. I am saying that I have seen, well, compliments put to the side. Let's get to business. I've been told, Emil, was it, that you built this ship? Yes. Time I had. Expertise less. Well, let's have a look, shall we? If this ship brought you from Shipwreck Reef, then, well, it's more than just a raft. So let's have a look and see what we can do to make things a little better. And she starts walking. Where do you take her first?
Since it's really a visit about the ship's seaworthiness and the repairs that she needs, Paxy's going to start with the belly. He's going to go straight down into the hull to have the integrity of the hull, the different plates of different woods that have been jammed together for that to be observed, and work from the bottom up, but stay in the very technical sense. So anything like crew quarters, captain's quarters, well, cargo hold is sort of in the underbelly of the ship, so that's definitely getting visited. But crew quarters, captain quarters, mess hall, all those things don't need to be touched. We pretty much skip. Good point. Right.
They don't exist.
Well, those open spaces that one day will be those things pretty much get skipped because what's important is the skeletal structure of the ship.
To the point where the inspection takes quite a bit of time, right? It's what you'll see is Almond on occasion will start asking Emil to the side and going, there are essences of wood that she would not recognize, as in this. Where did this come from? And Emil's answer is, I don't know, right? Oh, it was from this ship. Sometimes Hazel might say, oh yes, Imperial or Caroline or never heard of it. A lot of it is never heard of it. But what you'll see on occasion is so Almond will come up and sort of place her hand on the wood, and there's a ripple as either the wood becomes smooth, you can see almost as she puts her handprint into some of the woods to kind of determine as she pulls out. So you'll see here and there woods sort of almost like clay as she's moving and shaping the wood. Not in a very big way, but it's sort of like testing the malleability of certain woods. Some are extremely malleable and almost stick out like gum to her fingers. Others seem to be completely immune to her efforts. As she, this one's interesting. As she goes about, and she starts also asking. This time, I think it would be going with you as to so Pax as to okay. So what are we doing here? And she starts thinking about once she's done with the hull, which she can certainly mend. The hull has worked fairly well up until now, right? It wouldn't survive a big storm, and you had constantly had to go and make repairs and either add in pitch or whatever. But she can make it whole fairly easily. What was a bit more complicated later on is what's the architecture on the inside? Where do you want your crew quarters? How, and Hazel is there taking notes and in her journal, and sort of mapping out. Okay, so we want the walls up to here. This is where we want your lower ceiling. This is one maybe put in support here. This and and there's also a conversation about okay, what do you want to do with this ship? Right? Are you planning on because for now there are no gun ports. Right? There's nothing where you could maybe hide merchandise if you decided to go smuggling. And there's all these different things where she's going, basically, what is this ship for?
Well, since we got on this island, there's absolutely no point hiding anything from you, and I'm pretty sure you know just as much as we do that we don't know. But
I don't necessarily.
I'm pretty sure we'll get back to you on that very quickly.
I don't necessarily need an answer today. There's more than enough work here to occupy me for a few days before you decide on how you want the interior.
I think if I have one request that is definitely going to be universal, you've met Gizmo, our gunnery sergeant.
Oh, yes. You have Hazel answers, the gun range.
Pax actually lets out a chuckle. I would suggest any form of reinforcement or an area in our cargo specifically for black powder.
Well, the equivalent.
Well, yes.
Yes, that can certainly be arranged. Right. Well,
while we have a chance, Captain, if I can be so bold, and First Mate Hazel, we've come to your island and gotten courtesies and explained why we got them. I find it reassuring to see that we are being kept close tabs on. I, however, wonder with the declarations that you've made on the first night, if you could be as candid to us as we are forced to be with you. What threat are you looking out for?
I think that she finds one of the. I think she finds the one of the pillars, the central masts, right? And she sort of you're still in the. I think you right as a moment you're in the bilge, right? You're really at the bottom of, and she's got she's got basically water and sand pretty much up to her knees at this point. She goes, well, pretty much all kinds. It goes from wandering. I mean, if you're talking about the civilized threats, anything from pirates who want to just help themselves to pillage, to incursions by the Empire or any of the mercenaries from. Look, the Drake Islands were born as a counterpower to the Invaders' War. This entire archipelago was built on the idea of not wanting to participate in the war, to be neutral in that conflict, and to be sufficiently armed to make sure that we're not forced into it. And 10 years ago, about a decade ago, things calmed down. But it's a fragile peace. And there's still this rush for Ethereum. And look, to be honest, the threats to Maladel are both outside and inside. There are factions here among the Drakes that want to take power, and I mean, even among my own crew. I took up the mantle of captain of the Asphodel about 2 years ago. But the Blood Lilies are much older than that. And it wouldn't take much for... The Blood Lilies were basically survivors. Huh? You were talking about survivors? The original crew of the Asphodel were a group of druids who served as forced labor for the Caroline Empire. They made out of wood and will the ship that is out there on the docks today, and ran. They still would want nothing more to shed imperial blood. Now, I know. I can pick up an accent. And you are under my protection. As such, you are guests, and that is one of the rules that all here follow. There's a reason why I had you break bread as soon as you came on shore. Because that's the only thing that would keep you from being revenged in the dark. Now, that's how we work. But you'll find others in the Drakes that are pro-Empire, anti-Eris, or anti-everything. There's a fragile balance on these isles for now. But who knows? In a month or so, new pirate crew enters, and the whole thing is shaken up.
It's been a nice reprieve to have a night without thinking of Caroline or Erisian or Drake.
And I apologize if I broke that peace.
You did not. On the contrary, you know more than any of us can realize at this moment, but I believe that none of us know which camp we belong to anymore.
I can believe that.
This place is impossible. Ask any of the crew who were stuck on the Isles for weeks, not knowing whether it's going to be either sickness or things in the ether that would get us. Or mutineers, just like you. Eyes in the back of the head. It could come from anywhere.
I've heard a few stories. I've heard a few of the stories from your crewmates have come back to my ears.
Then I'll keep it short and sweet. You've given my crew rest, and I thank you for that as their first mate.
To be frank,
Should this...
to be
Yes,
fully frank,
Captain.
the way most crews will... There's a lot to be gained in the question that is asked rather than the answer that is given. And the way a crew, new strangers arriving in the archipelago, landing on Maladel, which is a place of plenty, seeing how they react to plenty, is a way for us to determine if these people are trustworthy or not. And when I say trustworthy, I have no idea what you're going to go to after this. But what I know is that were you to be considered a threat to the Blood Lilies, you would have not woken up.
Noted. Then let me simply return in kind. That for as long as the Chimera and its crew are docked at your harbor, if any threat comes upon Maladel, I and those who wish to follow me will pick up arms by your side.
I appreciate that. Though, should you decide to pick up arms, I would have you contact Hazel or myself before you take anything rash.
It is your
just-
island, Captain.
Just so that we're clear and that everything here is out and spoken for.
I may not look like it, and I look even less than what I claim to be. But yes, I respect chain of command, as much yours as my colleagues.
Good. I think the good does not come from Alma, but comes from Hazel. Who is, again, very much stooped a little in the bilge, right, as with her head forward because her antelope horns are sort of scraping against the wood at the top. Oh dear, let's get you out of here. As she sort of, Alman sort of pats and, okay. Right.
Don't get a torticoli.
Well, I was about to say something about being good with my hands, but I guess my hands are going to be full with this little beauty here. Hazel, how are we looking? And Hazel sort of looks down at her journal and goes, well, with all things considered, about, depending on the, I would say 3 days full body for the body work, 3 more days for the building, with additional resources coming from the island itself to fill in where we might need extra wood. Total of 6 days. No, for the gruff work, finishing touches would be extra. Right, and so that would come up on, and she comes up to basically. Yes. That is considering the work they... Yes. So basically it would come to a total of, let's see, 6 days. Here we go. 5. So 6 days. There was basically 30 gold pieces of 30 gold of basically to sort of reimburse her for any exotic materials and wood that would be coming in from the island as you're buying, and the labor she's giving in exchange to the labor that you were actually putting out as well.
Just above the table, so she's asking just for a 30 gold
Yes.
to fill in the gap of what we're not paying back
Exactly.
in labor.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
So just so you know,
I'll
going forward, Almond is capable of for 5 gold and in 1 day's work, able to restore 2d6 plus 1 hit points to the ship. So should you ever have damage, she can pretty much do a lot. Considering that I believe you're, let's see, I have this. Do I have the? Considering that you're in a schooner, I believe, which is at 12 hit points. So basically, she's able to almost repair the ship entirely in 1 day. Yes.
I'm sorry, did you just say that our ship had 12 hit points?
These are not character hit points. These are very, very different.
No, Pax cannot bite the ship and sink it.
The rules for the ships. Again, when we get to the combat, I'll sort of explain everything. But there is there's a threshold. So I think that so for example, the threshold is 10. It only takes 1 damage per increment of 10, and so forth.
So technically, it's 120 equivalent.
Sure, but then you have other things that do additional damage and that kind of thing. Special ammunition, that kind of thing. But yes.
I'll have the captain sign off on the 30 gold and get the rest of the crew informed.
Good. Go.
We don't have an appointed quartermaster at the moment.
That is true.
I just checked.
That is true.
Might be a role for Farron, actually, or not.
Working on it, because after having been shooed out of the kitchen, maybe he's going to find a new calling for entirely unrelated reasons.
So Farron, what were your 2 roles? You had, because all of you have 2 roles, right? One at rank 1 and one at rank 2. You rank 2 chef, I think.
Yes, the second one I believe was quartermaster, because we were saying that it made sense given that I would have worked with supplies, kind of like.
And I think we decided at some point we would switch, so quartermaster 2, cook 1.
Yeah, I think it very much goes in the way that once the inspection on the ship is finished, Pax will dismiss Still and Jorg to be able to continue what they're doing. Emil tends to stay on the ship usually because that's closer to the ether. He's just going to go down back to the beach, walk up to Astrea. I don't know what it's like on Erisian ships, but we usually ask quartermasters for that so we don't bother the captain with everything. 40 gold, 1 day, and the ship will be seaworthy without any modifications that we need, but 40 gold.
Is Pax trying to embezzle money?
Wait, am I saying the wrong amount?
Yeah, you are.
You said 40 instead of 30.
30 gold. He said 30. He's not embezzling.
5 gold per day, 6 days. So you were going to.
I had a brain. Like, I wrote it down literally 10 seconds ago, skipped to a different screen, and woof, It's out of my brain.
The hustle. Respect the hustle.
Fair enough. I love the idea of Paxford going, you know what? I want 40. Okay, not a problem. Where are those extra 10? I have no. Maybe Pax is going for a rainy day fund. Maybe.
Getaway fund.
Get away from.
I only call it that because I know it out of game, and I don't think Pax is the type to embezzle money.
A good time to embezzle money as Pax. No, Pax in this case would have definitely said 30 gold. Who's good with numbers from those that, I don't know, any from the Endeavor left?
Something we should. Is Pebblebrook around? He knows the crew better right now.
Actually, before we bother Pebblebrook, didn't Farron calculate the weight of the pig meat as he was filleting it?
That is true. Farron might be a good pick. Yeah, he was pretty impressive with that.
Should I?
Where is he? And yeah.
While she's looking, where is he? Pax just raises his head. Farron!
Farron, make me a perception check, please.
Oh no. Perception. There we go. Yes, that. Is it with advantage given kind of like the
Roll.
Wow. Okay.
we're back, baby.
Okay.
That was a 6 on the die for a total of 8 on less shenanigans.
Or a natural 20.
Or
if-
you know,
a natural 20 if where had you Astrea, where had you sent Farron?
To Tiberius with the cooking.
Okay. I think that I'm going to give you the help action to the point where Pax screams out for Farron, and somewhere along the lines, a druid in the shape of a small bird basically lands next to Tiberius, and who is explaining to you that there is a way to there's a way to slicing vegetables. Don't go against the grain. There's a way to do these things. And
Farron about to be thrown out of his second kitchen, as many kitchens.
you're about to be thrown out of a kitchen that has no doors. Actually, you know what, Farron? Make me a survival check.
Okay. I can try and do that. Survival, eh? Why do I have? Yeah, I add plus nothing to survival.
Well, there we go.
Yeah, that's a big old 3 on the die.
Jesus.
Nice. Let's go.
Now I'm starting to understand why your ship, did not manage that well in combat. They were all starving and probably poisoned.
Listen,
Have you actually? So remind me, you were part of the.
I was part of the Kraken's crew.
You're part of the Kraken. Yeah, so you are the only survivor of your ship.
Only named survivor. Yeah, the other 2 there was an incident with the. Anyway.
No, the only reason we survived Farron's cooking because Teresa was there and probably slapped his hand away every time.
I insist that I was an improvement on the previous guy, which, in all fairness, doesn't say much now that I think about it. But does it?
What we don't know is the true story of the Kraken is they all had dysentery before the battle
That's what I'm
actually
saying.
started.
That's what I'm saying.
It is Game of Oregon Trail kind of happening in the background. Unless it was
Oh
mentioned, I don't
God.
know.
Yes. So I think that there's a with a 3. I think Tiberius is being very, very friendly, and you can hear it, right? He's giving you cooking lessons the same that he would be giving to a toddler, right? As in, okay, so and basically explaining to you, okay, so this is how you set the grill at this distance with regards to the fire. So literally that kind of stuff. At which point you have this sort of small. I think it would be sort of a small seagull or something, or a sandpiper, that sort of shifts into a sandpiper. Yeah. So basically, this sort of middle-aged elven woman, and goes, if I remember correctly, you're the Farron.
Yes. Yes.
I
That's
believe you've
me.
been called to your ship.
Well, thank
The
the gods.
shouting was quite adamant.
Okay. Is it okay if I go and
Yes.
looking towards Tiberius?
Go. Go.
Right. And
By the way, I'm trying to see.
takes
Farron.
off his.
Okay. Yeah. Well, at least he did not burn anything. That man. Yeah, he sort of
Cue
turns. The
real
last thing you
catching
hear.
fire.
The last thing you hear as he. That man has no nose. He does not. He does not know the difference between the spices. There, Tiberius. It's no. Not everybody has your skills. Anyways, what would you like? And so
Poor Farron.
His ears kind of like start changing color a little bit, kind of like, but but I thought I was good. Anyway, so
Farron,
one few, yeah.
there is something though. There is something as you're moving about and you're going. You know what? Make me an insight check.
Okay. Insight.
And just the music
Something
goes
that
silent.
Something that I'm very good at. No, that's a +2 actually on
Okay.
insight, with a. Ooh, okay. Thank you, rolls. This is
Okay.
a 17 for a total of 19.
That is actually the dice tell a story, and I really enjoy that. There's something, because you said you thought you were good. Something deep inside you says, I should be good at this. Why am I not?
Huh.
I keep burning things. I keep misjudging. And yet, I have the memory and the instincts of being better at this.
I think, as that insight comes through, there's a moment where he just fully stops in his tracks and he starts thinking about what he remembers. And he knows that there's stuff missing where he thinks just from the outlines of what he thinks should be there. But this is maybe the first time that he's wondering, what if stuff isn't just missing? What if stuff is changed as well? And starts wondering just how much of who and what he is more complicated than he thought. And I think he then gets snapped out of his reverie by just someone bumping into him as a, yes, Pax, and just runs towards the
I think you.
Well, wherever
the
he is.
reverie is as you as you join up. Your mind brings up to Astrea and Pax as they're they're right there in front of you. Gizmo just in the background. So all the four of you, and this is just at the edge of the docks, right? This is not.
Right. Yes. Hi. You called for me.
Yes. The captain and I want to offer a different officer position to you.
Oh God.
One we're lacking.
Right.
We need a quartermaster.
Oh.
Keep the coin, keep the equipment, make sure there's enough rations on ship when we go on an expedition. Find trade.
Great. All right. Well, that can certainly be arranged. Lovely. All right. Thank you, and I accept. Does this mean I should tell Tiberius that I quit?
Pax slaps Farron on the shoulder at that moment, doesn't answer that question, but just says, I need 30 gold. And continues to walk forward. He got his target for what he needed done and delegated.
Nice.
It's gonna be a long day.
You've been taxed.
You've been packed.
That's gonna be.
I love the idea because to follow the rules, I need someone to sign. I'm promoting you just for the signature.
Exactly that.
Technically,
Pax might have been first mate, but he's never managed a crew before. He doesn't know how it's done.
Welcome,
He's like, you want to be quartermaster? You're quartermaster. Give me 30 gold. Let's go.
This is literally a field commission.
Oh God. Am I the paper trail patsy? Is that what this is?
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, you've been. No, sorry. The spoilers.
I'm sure you're gonna do great.
Uh huh. Oh boy.
Yes. So I'll adapt your screen, Farron, to show your new rank, and then we'll see where we go from there. Okay. Is there anything else we want to sort of look into?
I do think a little bit further into the day or whatever, Pax would like to have a chat with Farron. But that doesn't have to be now if someone else has something more in mind closer to this time lapse.
If I don't know, go ahead. I've got a little. I have a little cliffhanger, but that it can wait for 5-10 minutes. So go ahead.
All right. I think after another ship of tending some of the fields, Pax will go and find Farron, just to share. I think it's going to be a bottle of some kind of fruity juice from the island that he got off Tiberius, non-alcoholic. So, figured out anything yet?
Well, the good news is we don't
Passes
have
the bottle over.
that much. Grab the glass without looking, and essentially shows you a fairly short list of scribbles, kind of like on parchment. Well, the good news is we don't have that much stuff that there is a lot to figure out yet. We're looking at crew size, looking at ship size, looking at that, well, this is a fairly well-staffed port, but we can't count on their generosity, and so it's going to be thinking about rations, thinking about methods to resupply, thinking about kind of like repairs in the ship.
Farron.
Yeah.
No, 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 no. I already know you're going to be a great quartermaster.
That makes one of us.
Figured out anything about yourself yet? Never mind that question. We got here and got rest for the first time. I am not blind when a man feels threatened by peace.
He full-on drops. Well, he lets his quill rest in his hand, and he just gives you his full attention a different way than he has before.
I don't think I can speak for what made you think that way. But I recognize it, and I wonder. When we met, and up till now, everything you've told me is you need to figure things out. So I'm saying maybe for the first time, as and you see Pax almost struggles with a word, and he looks down to his satchel briefly, and his hand almost unconsciously goes to rest on it. And Pax frowns, staring right past Farron at that point. As a friend, yeah. Never mind that. Congratulations on becoming quartermaster. It's the position where if something goes wrong or missing, your head's gonna roll. But if nothing goes wrong or missing, you're the glue to the crew. So, pats his shoulder again, and again, not looking at Farron, very much frowning and trying to find words and just saying what comes up, looks right past Farron. I think you're the right guy for the job. I believe in you. Good work. You will. And Paxton almost sits down as if forgetting that Farron is there, both hands on the satchel, frowning in thought.
There's a long pause as Farron processes the conversation that just took place. Thanks. Question, DM, do you think, and maybe actually also question to you, Panda, is the satchel, how much would Farron have noticed it up to this point? And do you think that...
I think this... Sorry. I'm going to let the DM answer first, and you finish your question first. My bad.
Go ahead, finish your question, then I'll answer.
And do you think that he would notice a change in behavior towards it right now, if indeed it was noticeable before?
I am going to roll me. I'm going to ask you for an insight check from Farron. And Pax, I want you to give me a number between 12 and 17 as to basically the mark for the check. it is completely up to you. Remember, Farron had no idea that you had the satchel up until this morning, right? Because you only got it back during the night.
Do I DM it to you, covert, so he doesn't know the
sure,
values?
Absolutely.
Okay. Incoming.
So that's insight, right?
Yes, that would be insight again.
Okay. That's +2 to insight for a total of... Why do you roll twice? That's not supposed to happen. The first one is the one we're looking for,
So
and that's a 16.
That is a 16. Jeremy, Panda, did you send me that somewhere?
Yeah, coming.
Okay.
Coming on Discord.
Okay. There we go. Okay. Yeah. Actually, on an 18, feel free to answer.
So
16.
for Farron on a 16, the first realization Farron is going to have is that this particular sling bag, because it's more of a sling bag, was carried by Karen most of the time. So with Karen being larger, it's easily seen as maybe Karen's way to carry her stuff around, and no one's really bothered because everyone keeps to their own stuff. But with a 16 now that you see Pax carry it, Pax carries it with a reverence and an emotionality to it that isn't given to immaterial objects. To material objects, I mean, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, it feels the same way. It's not coddling. It wouldn't be coddling the same way you would have a toddler or a child, but there is a... I think you would maybe kind of see in a very... granted, different. You would see there's a protectiveness that you saw between Emil and the Pearl. In different different vibes, but the physicality is it's always there's. I think Pax always has a hand, even if he doesn't notice it, but he's always trying to reassure himself that is there. There's an almost an obsessiveness to it.
So protectiveness, not tenderness.
Yes.
Okay. Huh.
I think with an 18, you do you would understand it's a mix of both. Am I correct with that, Panda?
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
This is precious, and Pax is protecting it because it is precious to him.
Right. Well, take a swig of juice. Is that it's juice and not alcohol? And
It's burning juice.
keeps drinking.
Am I the only one or losing?
No, we're losing him, I think.
Okay.
I know he's lagging a bit.
Well then, I think, and without I think this is
Did we lose someone?
We lost you.
Oh, I think you're back.
Oh, was it me?
Hello.
What? When?
Not sure.
Who did we lose?
Basically, I think Farron would reply after a moment, and he would look at Pax and say, "Well, coughing through the juice. For what it's worth, I think you're making already a pretty fine first." And raises his glass, ? Probably not a glass, in a bit of a toast.
Pax.
As you were doing this, there's the sound of somebody sort of sprinting, a bit out of breath. And as you turn, you see Tressa sort of moving up to you. I won't have you make an insight check because she looks shaken, right? But also she looks shaken, but like somebody who's trying to not to look shaken. She's out of breath, but she's trying to keep her composure. Almost like if she was somebody, speed walking, if that makes sense, right? She knows she's sort of
Right.
And she comes to you two. Say, oh, well, it's been good that I found both of you. And I'm a bit of an issue. I think I need to talk to the captain, but I want to pass this by you first. There's among the druids yesterday and today, tilling the fields. I think I might have recognized someone. Thing is, and I'll give more details to the captain if you want to bring this to her attention, but I think he might be a spy working for the Empire. And that's where we're going to finish off for tonight.
Oh.
Long day indeed.
Here we go.
Right.
Right.
So I think you're muted, my love.
So I said pom pom pom.
Pom, yes.
But also.
Right. So, friends, you know the drill. If you are just here for the story, feel free to move on to the next episode. If you want to hear our thoughts, a quick little thought session after a couple of just a bit of a pause here, because I believe we do have things to talk about. So.
Oh yeah.
Yes, we do.
To those who would leave us here, thank you for watching. As always, feel free to come. If you have suggestions of names for the crew so far, please let us know below. Who knows? We might actually take them into account. Because who knows? Maybe you might have something that we haven't thought of. So, in the meantime, go take a small break. We'll be right back. See you there. And we're back. So, friends, how are we feeling?
Yes.
What happened?
It's been a long day.
Yes, and it's just
this
getting
was
started.
not even. Yeah, this was not even like lunchtime, basically. So we still have the whole day to go.
Well, that's the best thing about when you have no sunset, right? Is that who knows?
Oh
Yeah.
God.
So yeah, I think it'd be. Yeah, you roughly around noon, I think. I think Farron was trying to. I think Farron was on lunch duty, so I think the noon meal is about to
Farron
come.
was trying to survive the first 4 hours of his morning.
I mean,
So-
this is it's yeah.
Yes.
It's fun to see the
Good.
new dynamics kind of like developing, but also it's fun to see kind of like the callback to kind of like Farron thinking himself a good cook, and like you said, the dice tell a story, and I am, but I think having in mind a few of the things that we've discussed, it's a story I'm interested in.
Yeah.
I'm curious about what Farron forgot or how this delusion came around. What happened there for him to think that he's a good cook? Maybe he has been a good cook at some point, and then
Maybe he has
something
been.
happened.
Maybe it's just the Lulu. You never know what.
It's definitely.
No, but I think.
Go ahead.
But like this is like out of game, like from the Doyle's perspective. When I started developing like a pirate character, kind of like that was a bit of an underdog, and but kind of like seemingly harmless but not so harmless. I was like, okay, who am I looking? Long John Silver, and so that was the initial
Which
inspiration when I saw
Which
that.
iteration is the question?
Oh,
Are you doing Long John Silver from the book, the Muppet movie, or Treasure Planet?
well, I
The one
don't
from the Muppet movie, please.
I don't have a Miss Piggy in this scenario. Hello, Long John, and I am not going
We
to
don't
touch.
know that yet.
We don't
oh
know
God.
that yet. Yeah.
Oh God! But I'm not going to touch the greatness that is Tim Curry. So
I want
Remember
some.
the first
Okay,
board that
DM.
tried to kill us.
I need you. You know the hippopotamus race from from Spelljammer, the one who looked like.
Yes. Yeah. The GIF.
I need a pink one to appear at some point.
if you're going where I think you're going, this is going to change the tone of this campaign real
She
fast.
has to be
Wow.
dressed in really frilly clothes.
And she is an expert in demolition.
She's a madam of a brothel somewhere.
I will look into it.
Oh God!
I will look into
I
it.
am not safe at this stage.
Yes.
Um,
Yes. But considering that the GIF, or the GIF, because nobody knows how it's actually pronounced. That is a Chris Perkins joke, by the way. It's in the book. When it comes to breaking objects, I think they have advantage on breaking stuff, where they do extra damage to breaking to immobile objects. Definitely, yes, I can definitely see Miss Giffy. Yeah.
Oh God! No, but I mean, hippopotamus in real life is very, very bad news.
Oh.
So
no. I can see. So we have Miss Giffy, most likely, at least, and there's a familiar, right? And the familiar has to be a green imp called Comet.
Listen, if this is your way to get our fans to write fanfic, I think you might be onto something. And I, for one, will be happy to read it. So get in there, all your AO3 friends. Write about us.
We could finish the campaign and then do a Humblewood version of it, but with Muppets for everybody.
That's already my Strahd campaign right there. So.
Okay.
God.
Okay.
Was it here with you guys that we were talking about Strahd? Strahd.
I
We
don't
talk
think
about
so.
Humblewood characters.
We talk about Strahd every session before we
Maybe,
start. Basically.
Could.
But so we had conversations let's see, what have we discussed? Yeah, so the names and name linked to identity. I'm thinking that we're gonna take the time with the name, right?
Yep.
Yeah, we need a good one.
Yeah. I wish Panda was still around because unfortunately he couldn't join the talkback, but because I thought his choice and the conversation. The scene between Pax and Astrea on the name,
On the
especially in
Menagerie,
the
yeah.
context of what just happened. Yeah, I thought that was
That would
such
be
an
nice.
interesting choice.
I don't think that
'Cause,
conversation's over.
Oh no,
No.
But yeah, there's something
mean-
there. There's, I think somebody posted in our Discord said, "Ooh, there's trauma."
yeah. I mean,
that whole section was trauma dumping after trauma dumping
Yeah.
after trauma dumping.
Yep.
because well-adjusted people don't become adventurers.
You've got a point there. Trauma bonding the episode.
Oh God.
Yeah,
Trauma
pretty
dumping the
much.
campaign. Trauma bonding the campaign.
Well, technically, any good D&D campaign is trauma bonded.
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
I mean, but we've name dropped some big ones, kind of like also with you, kind of like, oh, found family, oh, matriarch, oh, kind of like what was it? Kind of
Yeah,
like wind.
there was.
The Wind Chasers.
I wrote the stuff. Wind chasers. There, kind of like. I mean, you get found family. That's we were talking fanfic tropes. That's
About the name, by the way, I am really proud of myself because I hadn't thought of a name for my old crew yet, so that was on the spot.
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah. It's. I mean, I
Good one.
love the idea. A player of mine a while back had this concept of a character of this happy-go-lucky who had absolutely not a care in the world, no trauma whatsoever, and it was a halfling bard called Sunshine.
Nice.
And I think College of Creation, as in he was so happy that things around him started dancing all together. Yeah. We still might get that campaign at some point. We still like characters at some point, maybe in a one shot. To which I believe, Emlyn, you were talking about doing your old grizzled gnomish druid.
Halfling
druid.
Who she lilies with her pipe. Her pipe, which is basically her size.
The long wizard pipe, but for a halfling. So she also uses it as a kid.
Nice.
But yeah, no, it's I think, what's in a name is going to be what's in a name and the long day. I definitely 2 episode names right there.
Yep.
But yeah, so you are going to have a fully functional ship right now. Well, at least
Seaworthy and not going to sink at the first tempest.
Add to the fact that you do not currently have any means of defending yourselves, right? You have no cannons, you have no weapons on board. So let's just hope you don't get attacked by a crew.
That's why we have a gizmo.
That is why you have a gizmo. But yeah, I guess.
He is a cannon.
I am the cannon.
And the Twilight Cleric and Fighter.
Oh, I'm pretty sure the moment you guys get boarded, that's the end of the other crew, right? But if they decide to sink you from afar, that's going to be something completely different.
Listen, the moment you said that we had a 12 hit point ship, I kind of like felt my ass pucker in my throat. Like that was kind of like a
Yeah. So
bit of a
So I'll just have a look here. Considering that now you are completely completely fixed up. So you have 12 hit points. Where are you? I found you earlier. I think you have an AC of 15 and a threshold of which I think is equivalent as well. But basically, yes. So any damage to actually do a hit point of damage, you need to go over a certain threshold of hit points, and at that point, you only do 1 damage. And for every increment of that above, you do an extra damage. So
Right.
you have a sloop. I guess it's to avoid of going, okay, I do a disintegrate, and all of a sudden there's the 3 ships that don't exist anymore. It's not really. It's sort of to sort of. I mean, there are other games where I forget the name of the game, but where damage according to the size. So if you were human, you had damage according to if it was a vehicle, it was another increment, and if you wanted to transfer those increments, it was multiplied by 10.
Oh boy.
So you were still rolling the same dice, but if you used a ship's laser that did 5 hit points, it wasn't the same kind of amount of damage that a human with a gun would do 5 damage. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Well, what happened, however, if kind of like something that was a weapon designed to do like building level damage was aimed at a person? Kind of, was there anything in the rules about that? Or
you get missed.
Huh. Yeah.
Okay.
As it, poof, right? You use.
Okay, that kind of missed.
Yeah.
Misted.
Yeah, you get completely. You
Yes.
do not missed. You get misted.
Evaporated.
Evaporated.
No, because I know that there's rules in classical D&D for siege weapons that do double damage to structures, and I know that back in the day there was an unearthed arcana for 5e for ship-to-ship combat, but it wasn't that great, as I recall. I tried to look into it way back when, but I like the way that they're doing this here. I mean, there's a little bit of a management sim element to it, but it's nice.
I mean, we'll see how it is. It is there is a very chunky system with regards to ship combat and that kind of thing. There are also perfectly good examples going, if you find this too chunky, this is how you do differently, right? But yeah. Right. Anything else we'd love to discuss about tonight's episode? Tonight's session?
I think I
No, I think
have
we're good.
conversations coming up with a lot of people because
Yeah, we have to talk a lot.
That might be something we discuss. No, that might be something we want to discuss outside of the game and just plan a little bit. But Astrea would want to get to know her crew. So technically, before sailing again, and we might want to condense that, she would want to have a discussion with each and every element of the crew. So that might be something we have to see how we handle that.
Yeah. That's going to be interesting. Yeah, we had the Farron dialogues, and we have the Astrea interviews. Astrea assessments.
Yes, something like that.
Yeah. Well,
I am curious to also to find out more about Gizmo and his past, because we've got these little glimpses of strangeness, and there's a lot there to think to dig into, but also
it's been a bit generic. It's been a bit generic so far because the Gizmo doesn't really have a detailed background. I gave basically a white white paper sheet of paper to our DM, but now I feel like it's time to give him something a bit more,
Yeah, we'll
consistent.
talk about it. Yeah, definitely we'll talk about it.
To be fair,
Yeah,
to
yeah,
be
yeah.
fair,
I've got some ideas, but
you're never too late. The details of Astrea's far background before she got to the Ethereal Expanse have been planned for a moment, but I had a little bit neglected of thinking about what after. So that was decided this afternoon.
Yeah, basically
Okay,
the
fair enough.
15 years of going, oh, what did I do for 15 years on the Ethereal Expanse, which is kind of important. We're going, let's just wing it tonight.
Yeah.
But I
So it's
remember
never
like
too late.
the first ever campaign that I did with Usually on the channel was this
Shout outs
this
to
mini
a much
campaign.
needed rest.
Yes, indeed. Have a look at that if you want to see a very, very different character. Thing is, that character, I think we were tinkering with the details of this backstory. I think 3 episodes in, kind of like still trying to clarify a few things and kind of like workshop things.
Yeah.
So Schrödinger's backstory is kind of like a time-honored tradition, kind of like when it comes to creating vibrant characters.
I mean, we had I had that conversation about a system like Fate, where characters in D&D, because you create the mechanics, you are free to explore the fluff of it, right? You explore to think, okay, well, my character would have done this. I have +4 in stealth. Where could this have come from? And you started to think about that. You can think about that later because you have the mechanics. Something like Fate, where they tell you, no, the reason you need to write down at character creation the reason why you're stealthy, because that is what gives you your stealth, is a much different it's a very different system and a very different way of looking at things. And so I found that for people who want to explore their character without having an explicit idea for their character, Fate is not necessarily a good game. D&D is a bit more open to that last minute shift with regards to because you're going, oh, I decided that +4 in stealth was because he grew up on the streets. Oh, you know what? It's better for drama that +4 in stealth was him hiding from his family who's been trying to, sell him or whatever. So you can have those kinds of differences. And I've told you, all 4 of you know, and most of my players know, as long as it's not said in game, it's not written in stone.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I just need to know more about Gizmo so that I can do your own intros.
But I really love the way that we're working character into this, though, because it gives the interactions so much more meat.
I mean, plus it allows also to react to the roles. Farron, oh yeah, I'm a cook. Okay, what's the role you do for cooking? Survival. You have a +0 in survival. Why does he keep thinking that he can cook? He's got no proficiency, right? You aren't proficient in cooking tools either, so you have no proficiency. And then all of a sudden, you keep failing whenever we ask for a cooking role. But you kept saying, no, I'm a cook. And so now we have Farron on the 3rd try going, why do I keep thinking that I'm a good cook?
It's been interesting because I think talking about both the fact that he's not good at what he thinks he is, and also the fact being reminded that he's the sole survivor of the Kraken. I think it's going to be interesting for me to explore just how isolated Farron feels right now, because he doesn't have the same kind of tethering of cause or identity or crew or even past that kind of like all the others have in the same way. Like, he's supposed to be a Drake, but he became a Drake almost by accident, and all of the people that could have been a reference to him and could have vouched for him, or they're not there anymore. So
But that's why I think we should keep making Farron and Gizmo interact more, because they have a lot in common under that point of view. Because
I
even Gizmo
agree.
is like a total stranger to everything that's happening.
Yeah. Plus, the comedic duo potential is, I think,
Oh yeah, that's
Unmatched.
I think that dynamic is already going great, honestly.
Yeah.
yeah.
Because I don't feel it's too much. It just makes it okay. It makes it light without being too exaggerated. in a
like
sense.
I had, the moment of, okay, and how long can I move now? And the pause. Like I had the scene kind of like in my head, kind of like with the cuts back and forth, kind of like the
Yeah.
camera cuts and like the progressive zoom ins on the eyes, and I was like, yeah, this is working.
I have a question for Gizmo with regards to that. So, as an artificer, you can create objects out of nothing. You can create tools out of nothing. Which, by the way, I noticed that in the magical items that you can create every day is a multi-tool that allows you to be proficient in any single tool that you decide to create,
Yes.
which
Yes.
is bonkers. That used to be
That's crazy.
So I'm hoping that's the second one that you build. But does Gizmo have a tendency of going, "Oh, I made this," and then just forget about it?
So we didn't establish that yet.
No, but that's pretty much what we saw, right?
Oh.
He created a crowbar, fish and
He-
tackle,
yeah.
and ball bearings, and all of a sudden dumped that into Farron, made a magical rope that can heal itself, and decide,
Yeah.
I need to go somewhere else, and just leave. And all
I-
that
I-
stuff
I
is still on the
think-
floor, left there.
I think he's that kind of. He's a bit anxious about some things, and he likes to he doesn't like to stay put for too long. So I would see Gizmo as being that character that does
Or-
things for the yeah.
And I might be overstepping here, and you are entirely valid of shutting it down. You were building things, but not for yourself. You were used, so you're not used to be able to keep objects around.
So that's one of the ideas I have for the details I want to add to the background.
Okay.
Yes, that's one of the ideas I have.
Thank you for that 18 on insight, Astrea.
I made
I-
cleric for a reason.
Yeah, but it's a nice idea to that as a symptom. What people see externally is that he just dumps items and then just he's like, okay,
Yeah.
bye.
Is it ADHD? No, it's trauma.
It traumatizes.
Of course, ¿por qué no los dos? Which is a
That's-
whole
that
other
is-
story.
Yeah, I think. I think there's a lot of subtext under a lot of campaigns, which are ADHD, no, just trauma.
Trauma
Those of you to
D&D.
assume we can't have both.
Trauma and tribulations.
Classic.
Right. Friends.
Also-
Yeah, go ahead.
No, just thematically, kind of like the items popping in. Like I had an image, Janet in The Good Place, kind of like just dumping stuff, kind of like and kind of like when making them appear, kind of like it's such a strange mechanic, kind of like the artificers being able to materialize, and I love the way that you described it, kind of like the molding, kind of like ether and energy into shape. It's just neat, and I really like. I like Gizmo. Is basically what I'm saying. I really
Nice.
Yeah.
Aww.
Yeah, there's something. It's something. Artificers are weird.
Yeah, it's true.
They're weird because they do things that are clearly magical, as in they can apparate material objects out of nowhere, and yet they're supposed to be gadgeteers. So technically, Gizmo should not be pulling magic out of the air, right? Gizmo should be walking around with a 3D printer that could create a crowbar in less than 6 seconds.
Yeah. There's a webcomic called Girl Genius, which is
Yes!
about kind of like mad scientists
Shout out to the
ruling the
Foglios.
world.
Yeah.
And basically they're yes. And the whole point of it is that it's mad science,
Oh, we lost you.
but
You lagged for a bit.
in a hello?
Yeah,
Hello
go
there?
ahead. But,
Am I
yeah,
back?
you're back.
Yeah,
Right.
Okay, you're
go
back.
ahead.
So basically it's science, but it's mad science. So anyone but the mad scientist like cannot understand it, and the more they are in that fugue state when they create their inventions, the more thoroughly they break the laws of physics and the more improbable their things become. And it's just really, really fun. And artificers in D&D kind of like give me that. It's kind of like, yeah, we call it science because calling it what it really is, we would shit our pants. So it's
If somebody explains to you artificing and you understand, it means they haven't explained it well.
yeah.
It's quantum.
Any sufficiently analyzed magic is indistinguishable from science.
Oh, that is perfect. I want that on a t-shirt.
It's a girl genius quote.
Yes.
Yeah, it's also the thing where you say, so if I explain to you exactly how I do it, you are going to freak out and then chase me as if I was a 15th century witch. So no, I am not going to do that.
In all fairness, you try to explain silicon microchips to someone from the 15th century, you get burned at the stake real fast.
No, you don't. Because you don't know how it works either.
That's true.
Like,
because the thing is,
there was an interview. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
No. Do.
So you said there was an interview?
Yeah, I think it was Brennan kind of like saying that he was Brennan Lee Mulligan talking with his wife, that he tried to have this exercise of, okay, explain this, and just pointing at everyday items, and then her pointing at a television. He was like, yes, so the electricity goes into the screen and the screen creates light, and just the realization as he's saying that I'm a caveman.
Yeah,
I am surrounded by magic that I don't understand.
Dara O'Brien had a whole skit on one of his one-man shows about that whole thing as well, where he's going, so tell us about this. Yes, so we have a refrigerator. Oh, how does it work? Well, it makes cold. Right, but where did the cold come from? Well, we put electricity and it makes cold. Right, and where does the electricity come from? The wall.
you know all those isekai stories of, oh, I get sent back into the past and I become like, I bring up the Industrial Revolution, kind of like, I wouldn't be able to explain shit, kind of like even if they figure out that I'm from the future. So what wondrous science have you discovered? So there was nope, I got nothing. Basically.
Look, there are plenty of books.
Yeah, because you know it exists, you know how kind of works, but
there are plenty of books out there that explain to you how to break reality. If you ever go back in time, I recommend the read. It'll teach you a lot of stuff, as in not necessarily how your cell phone works, because nobody understands that. And that also means that. But anyways, we're getting off topic here, and I think we're getting late. So
yeah.
Let's end that here. If you've enjoyed us prattling about things, you know what? Let us know, and who knows? We might make it into a full thing, a full hangout. We'll see. In the meantime, thank you for watching. Thank you to my players for tonight. Thank you, Pax,
thank you for the session.
for
Thank you,
holding out
DM.
so far, and we will see you next week. So until then, stay safe. I was about to say be good, but that's not very piratey, is it? Anyways, be you.
Don't loot too hard.
That's true.